everyone, today we're going to be making an easy cheesy pasta. This makes about 3 to 4 servings and it only takes about 35 minutes total. First, I'm going to show you the ingredients and then we'll go through all the steps on how to make this pasta. Let's get to it. Okay, the first ingredient is going to be a penne pasta. That's just the shape that I'm using. You can use any shape that you would like. I would try to stick to something a little smaller, but you can just use regular spaghetti if that's what you have. Next are cherry tomatoes. So I just have a container of these, and then from the pantry you will either be getting cherry tomatoes like these, or you can be getting a variety like this. So if it's like this, then you're just going to want to chop it up into small pieces before you begin the recipe. Next, I have a small block of feta cheese. You can replace this with any other white cheese, so like a mozzarella or something like that. Next, I just have a seasoning salt. This is my preference, but you can use regular salt and pepper if that's what you have. And then I will be also adding red pepper flakes. Again, if you have them, you can use them, and if not, it's no big deal. And lastly, I have olive oil. You can use a vegetable oil or any other oil that you have. It doesn't matter and it won't affect the taste. And that's all you need. The first step is going to be turning on the oven. So I'm just going to bake it and put it on 350 and let it heat up. And while that's heating, we'll prepare the rest of the ingredients. Next, we're going to be washing our tomatoes. So for the cherry tomatoes, the smaller variety, you're just going to want to rinse them off in the sink. And then if you have one of the whole tomatoes or even a green tomato you can use in the recipe, you're just going to wash it before you cut it up. So for these, I'm just going to rinse them really quick. And just shake the container dry, or you can put them on a kitchen towel or a paper towel. And then they're ready to go. After you've washed your tomatoes, you're going to take your feta or other white cheese and put it in a small baking dish. I also put the olive oil in here, so you can either measure it out to be 1 to 2 tablespoons, or you can just eyeball it and just do about a second pour. So next, I'm just going to pour my tomatoes in here. The whole little thing, or 2 of those smaller ones that I showed you. And we're just going to move the tomatoes to surround our cheese. So if you just have mozzarella or another cheese, just kind of put it in the center and then surround it with the tomatoes. Next, I'm going to add the seasonings, and again, just do whatever seasonings that you like. Salt and pepper will be just fine. All right, I've added in my seasonings, and how good does that look already? It's ready to go in the oven once it's ready, which I still have a little bit to go. It's still preheating. But once you put that in the oven, then we're going to move on to the next step. The oven is now preheated to 350, so we're ready to put our tomato and cheese mixture in the oven. All right, and we're going to put it on the middle rack just like that so that it bakes evenly. And I'm going to set it for 25 minutes. Our next step you can do as soon as you put the other mixture in the oven, or when it has about 15 minutes left. So you're going to take a 2-quart size pot, and it'll say on the bottom of your pot, and you're just going to fill it 3/4 of the way full and then start boiling the water as you normally would. Now that my water is fully boiling, we are ready to add in the pasta. So I'm just going to add in half of the box of my penne and let it cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. Perfect timing. My pasta is done as soon as I pulled our other mixture out of the oven. And you'll know if this is done if you take a fork and pierce one of the tomatoes and it goes through nice and easily. So now I'm just going to drain the pasta and put it back in the pot. Our next and almost final step is going to be to mash the tomatoes and the cheese all together so it forms a mixture, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so I mixed it all together. A tip is to smash the tomatoes and be careful so they don't splatter because they easily will. So you can mix it until it's about as chunky or thin as you would like. Mine's a little bit chunky, And I just love how the tomatoes add some beautiful color in there, and you can see some of those yellow ones that I had, and then of course the red. So now we're on to the final step. After mixing it all together with the pasta, this is what it'll look like. I served it up into a bowl so I can eat it right after I'm done. And this is what it'll look like. You can just see we didn't have a whole lot of ingredients, and you can see those tomatoes running throughout. You can also top it with fresh herbs that you get from the pantry. Those would be a great addition to finish it off. You can also get the kids involved in making this recipe by having them mash the mixture after it comes out of the oven, being careful not to touch, the pan since it is a little bit hot, and they can also wash the tomatoes. It would get them involved and have some family fun. Last thing before I go and enjoy our easy cheesy pasta, I just want to remind you of the benefits of tomatoes, the whole reason we made this recipe. Tomatoes have lots of vitamins A and C. This helps our immune system keep us healthy and strong, and also protects our eyes. These are amazing benefits that you can get from just a small vegetable. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy and try this recipe.